Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be the same as the last recording session where basically I'm drawing live. So if you want to draw along with me, go ahead and grab whatever supplies you think you might need, and the reference will always be in the top left hand corner of the screen. Real quick before we get into this video though, I want to go ahead and apologize for any background noise you hear throughout the video. I tried my best to cut out as much of it as I could, but some of it did have to stay in because it was happening while I was talking. It does get better at the end though, so with all that out of the way, let's get started. And today's kind of special because we're going to be drawing, some real biological women, and I hope you guys are ready for this. Since I am doing this 2500 challenge, and because I do have to draw 1000 heads, which is, really crazy, I thought, eventually I'm gonna run into the issue where I maybe not run out of references, but just sort of, I start seeing stuff that just sort of looks the same. And so I thought a good way to kind of combat that would just be to draw the people that I like, sort of like celebrities or just people from YouTube and stuff like that. And I've done that before. In my sketchbook, you can, like I said, you can go check out that other video that's posted before this one. And I talk a little bit about each page, and there are a few people that I drew in there that I actually like. So, but I thought it'd be fun if in this video I would draw Trixie and Katya. Just because, they're drag queens, so they're men, but they're dressing up as women, and so it's interesting to see how you tackle these different, these two things sort of coming together, like all the sort of crazy makeup and things like that. So I actually did practice drawing a drag queen in my sketchbook. I drew Aiden Zane from season 12 of Drag Race. I normally don't keep up with Drag Race all too much. It's it's just something I'll kind of look up in passing, but I don't actively watch it or anything. But Aiden Zane had a really interesting sort of I don't know, I just kind of liked the look and everything, just sort of the feeling, the sort of feeling and mood that Aiden Zane was giving off. So I can already tell this is going to be hard to draw and talk at the same time. And speaking of talking, I did come up with some talking points, so I'm not going to just be rambling for an hour. I will say that I have learned a lot so far with this challenge. Like, for instance, just real quick, normally when I draw faces, I'll usually, draw the circle and, do this sort of thing. You kind of get a basic head shape, kind of like an ice cream cone, whatever. And then I would kind of go right into the eyes. But what I found is that one issue I was having was the nose, and I talk about that in the previous sort of session that I did that's like this, so I won't go too much into it. But what I found from working on this is that if I put in the ball of the nose first, and if I kind of map out, I usually use like a V shape, something, sort of similar, like that. And if I can kind of figure out where the nostrils are going to end, then I can kind of get in the general shape of the nose. From there, you can kind of go in and, you can kind of go in and get the nostrils in there. Something like that. I don't know. That was just something I kind of found out, and I feel like it made it a little bit easier for me. Just, I don't know, it was easier to place the nose first, and then that gave me, I guess it gave me sort of a better vantage point to tackle some of the other features. So now, because I have the nose down, I don't run the risk of making it too high or too low, and I can kind of work off of it. And I will say, because I said before, I drew a drag queen before, and I'll be honest, it's not going to look like them until you add the makeup, because that's just how it is. And so this is probably going to look really, really bad, just until I get to the point of adding the makeup. So bear with me here. And I have to draw 2 drag queens because I hate myself, so... Another thing I learned too, or something that I sort of experimented with my drawing, is that, again, in the last session I talked about how I draw eyes, you know, sort of like this. I don't draw the bottom eyelid. I'm gonna undo it real quick. This doesn't count. But, so I don't draw the bottom eyelid, but I felt like I lost a lot of expression with that, just because sometimes the eye itself, the iris, you know, kind of gets lost underneath the eyelid. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you're looking, like if you're looking down, then, you know, your eye's like down here, but because there's no bottom eyelid, I feel like sometimes if I were to draw, you know, the other one, rather than looking down, it kind of looks like the person's really surprised. So what I started doing was actually just adding like a little line at the very bottom. So I'm not connecting anything because I don't really like that sort of connection for the whole eye. So I started doing this, and I actually found that helps out a lot. So I'm able to show, I feel like I'm able to get a wider range of expressions. So anyway. And I don't think I talked about exactly why I wanted to draw Trixie and Katya, but I mean, kind of with, you know, context clues, I said I wanted to draw people that I like, but let's see. This makeup goes up farther than you think. But you know, I watched their web show here on YouTube, and it always makes me laugh, and I just love, you know, love them. They're my favorite. You know, if I had to choose a favorite, they're my favorite drag queens. And so, you know, I just kind of thought, I thought it'd be fun to, you know, I thought it'd be fun to just draw them and kind of see what they would look like in my style. So here we are. But I did say I had some talking points, so maybe we can kind of get into that. But as far as what I've been doing, you know, since the last time, I feel like a lot has happened, sort of. But I feel like a lot has happened. I recently went back to work, and for those of you who don't know, I work at Hobby Lobby, and so honestly, you would think that would be like my, you think that would be like, you know, a really cool gig for an artist, and honestly it is. I mean, you know, I get to be around, you know, I get to be around the things that I like, for the most part, you know, all the art supplies and everything. I do work in the home decor section mostly, though. That's just kind of my area. Since I moved down, I was full-time, but I moved back down to part-time because I wanted more time to focus on my art stuff and kind of, you know, get the wheels in motion with this whole thing. But yeah, since the whole virus thing was going on, I was actually out of work for a month. I didn't necessarily lose my job. I was furloughed, and so I had to, you know, file for unemployment and everything like that, which unemployment was like, I don't know, filing for unemployment was like the biggest, I don't want to call it a joke because it's not, like, you know, it helped out, definitely. It definitely helped out, but just the whole process, like, everything was fine up until like the point where they were just like, we need you to make a resume. And I was like, but I still have a job. Why do I have to make a resume? Like, I don't know, but anyway, so I did that, and that was just part of it, you know. I was like, whatever, I'll just, you know, play along, I'll just go with it. Let's see. This is, that's about there. But anyway, yeah, so I was unemployed for a little bit, but thankfully, you know, my job did open back up. I will say though, and you know, I will say that honestly, and I'm not even sorry about it, I'll be 1000% honest, that the time I spent, that 1 month that I had just of not working was like the best. I loved being at home. I loved having, you know, sort of all the time to work on my art stuff and work on these videos. It was really nice. I honestly enjoyed it a lot. I think it's starting to look like her, right? More or less. But yeah, and so once I had to go back to work, I mean, I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, I get it, you know, it's honestly, it's steady income, and I'll be honest, whenever all the stores and things were closing down, I did think about all of the sort of independent artists who solely make their living off of their art, and although that is something that I would love to do, it did kind of, you know, it did kind of put things in perspective as well, where it's like, if something like this were to happen again, and if I was in a place where I can, you know, make money off my art, I might be kind of in a tight spot to where, you know, in another sort of, I don't want to call it a crisis, but I mean, you know, in a sort of emergency, I guess, where people are probably not going to want to buy, you know, their first priority is probably not going to be art, you know. I'm probably going to be in I'm probably going to be in a little bit of a pickle, you know what I mean? I'm like having trouble placing these ears because it's like she has drawn on eyebrows, so they're higher up, but I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't working. Oh, I think I'm trying to like stick the ears too high up because I'm going off of the drawn eyebrows. But her, I think normal eyebrows would be like right here. Oh, that was about right, I think. Right? Maybe? More or less. Something like that. I don't know. Something like this, I think. And then this kind of... that kind of goes like that. And then... this one's like super low. This one like starts here. But yeah, so so I'm back at work, and you know, I'm trying to figure out, since I've been out for a month, it's been quite the adjustment, because I was honestly working on this challenge every single day, and I had a few hiccups here and there with not drawing. I think only maybe twice in the time where I wasn't working. And then as I started working again, I realized that number one, because my store, or because Hobby Lobby had been closed for a month, normally by this time we get a lot of Christmas stuff, which, I don't know, may or may not surprise some of you. If you worked retail, I don't think it'll really surprise you all too much, but I know for some people, it's like, what, Christmas in May? And it's like, yep, we definitely prepare well in advance, because that's where I think Hobby Lobby makes most of their money, is all their Christmas stuff. But, let's see. Did I do this on another? Oop, well. So I drew this on the wrong layer, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna totally just move this down a layer. I think that was it. Let's see, we'll take that one out, and alright, and we'll just, there we go. Now we should be okay. So yeah, normally by this time we're supposed to have, you know, a ton of Christmas crap already, and on top of that we have a whole bunch of markdowns that we need to do. And honestly, I'll be completely honest, it's been sort of a shit show, I feel like, in my opinion. And I don't know, it kind of makes me glad that I'm not a full-time person there, because at least right now, currently, because honestly, if it were to just sort of, if the whole virus thing didn't happen, we would be fine. But because it did, there's a lot of work that sort of built up over the course of that month that just didn't get done. And so now we're trying to play catch up with everything, and it's pretty hard to do that. And I think everyone's definitely feeling like the pressure of trying to get it done. So I mean, those poor managers, you couldn't pay me you couldn't pay me any amount to be a manager. Number one, I just don't like telling people what to do, because I'm terrible at that. I'm just like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want them to think I'm bossy. Okay, well, I feel like this is working, but I kind of need to... You need to make sure you have the angle correct too, because it's like drifting off into a whole nother angle. Yeah, something like that, I guess. We can fix it later, but moving on. I will say that I do feel like I'm getting faster at drawing faces, just ever so slightly. I mean, turns out if you practice, you actually get faster at things. Who would have thought? This isn't as high as it looks. That goes like there. But that's just sort of what I've been, sort of dealing with. But anyway, like I said, I'm back at work, so I'm trying to deal with all of that. Plus it's retail, and, I'm the type of person that's very introverted, and I'll be honest, I think working in retail has actually sort of helped with that a lot. Just... make this bigger. Just because it forces me to... I used to be really shy, like I just did not like talking to people, but of course it's retail, so I kind of have to talk to people. And so that definitely helped, sort of bring me out of my shell a little bit. But I still am very much introverted, to the point where if I interact with people for sort of a long period of time, I do get sort of mentally drained, and kind of with the whole, being tired after work thing, that kind of comes into play, later on whenever I still need to practice drawing, and I'm just like mentally exhausted from just from the entire, just from talking to people all day and asking them if they found everything okay, this and that. It gets to be a bit much. But, you know, it's a job, and I'm grateful for it. I have no idea how I'm gonna draw these eyelashes, by the way. Normally I don't draw eyelashes, but I feel like it might be kind of necessary for this, but we'll figure it out. We'll do something. But speaking of which, though, so, you know, it's retail and you know, it's retail, so I'm bound to meet, you know, a few people who kind of, you know, rub you the wrong way, this and that. They'll kind of act really, you know, sort of mean and this and that. I mean, it is what it is. It just sort of comes with the job, and honestly, it's kind of, I don't know. I think I've worked in retail so much to the point where nowadays I just really don't like people in general. Just whenever I work, I mean, I don't know. It's a hard thing to explain, honestly, because I mean, it's a hard thing to explain. If you work retail, I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But so a little bit of a story time sort of thing, but I was so I came back to work, and I think this might have been, honestly, this might have been like my second day back, or maybe even my third. I can't remember. I know it wasn't my first day, but part of what we do now, of course, because of the virus is happening, is that the employees are required to wear masks as we work, which is fine. You know, I'm like, whatever about it. Sometimes it can get kind of annoying because the mask will just sort of get in the way, and, you know, when you need to talk to people, it's sort of muffled. I'm gonna just sort of kind of BS this design of these earrings a little bit. But, you know, I mean, there's some slight annoyances with it, but for the most part, I'm just like, whatever about it, right? Well, I'm working on the register, and, you know, I'm helping check people out and everything. And I had this one woman approach the counter, and immediately, you know, I was like, hi, how are you? Did you find everything okay? And, you know, she didn't really answer my question. She just kind of immediately asked where my manager was. And I was just like, oh God. Honestly, I thought, what did I do? Like, I just said hi to you. I honestly thought it was me. I was like, damn it. I was like, this is the day, I guess. The day I lose my job because I said hi. I don't know. But no, she was upset because, and she went on this sort of long rant. Well, it wasn't, I don't know. She just went on this sort of long rant about, because I live in Texas, so, and I'll be honest, I don't know all of like the rules and sort of regulations with this whole virus thing as far as like what needs to be happening with businesses, as you know. But what she had told me was that we're not allowed to be open if we're going to allow people without masks to come in. So she was basically upset that there were people in the store without a mask. I mean, of course, it's sort of an optional thing. I mean, Hobby Lobby's not really enforcing it or whatever. Mostly, they're just sort of enforcing it for the employees. Like, that's about it. And, you know, we're cleaning, you know, more often, stuff like that. But, you know, as far as making the customers wear masks in order to enter the store, that's not really happening. So she was upset about that, and I was just like, okay, you know, I mean, again, she's going on and on about it, and I'm just standing there like, lady, I'm here at the register, so I'm not really sure what sort of, you know, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking, I'm not really sure what sort of power you think I have. But whatever it is, I don't have it. I don't have that power. I'm just here to push buttons on a register and get you the hell out of the store. And so I was just like, okay, let me call the manager over. And I was just like, I'm going to let him deal with it because I'm just not in the mood today. Like, at all. It's like, if you really, I don't understand. I've seen, I don't know. It's just, this whole thing has just really been quite the experience, I think. So I called the manager over, and honestly nothing too like exciting happened. He just sort of explained, You know, we're not enforcing it, whatever. Oh, by the way, I forgot like the most important part. Oh my God, how could I forget? Oh, shame on me. I'm the worst storyteller, by the way. Just keep that in mind. I forgot the best part. While she was standing there, you know, telling me how she was upset that people weren't wearing masks and everything, she was well, I wouldn't say threatening, but she was just saying, she was just saying, you know, I'm going to call the city and have you guys shut down because you guys aren't enforcing this and that. And again, I'm just standing there like, I don't know what you want me to do. By the way, I'm sorry if you can hear yelling. There's kids playing at the pool. But, oh my God, that was just insane. I feel like I've drawn nothing, by the way. Just, okay, let's get in some hair, because this is... But, yeah, so, you know, to end off the story... Oh God, I might have to move the thing. Anyway. But to sort of end the story, she talked to my manager. Basically told her, like, yeah, there's really, you know, we're not really enforcing it, so it's, you know, kind of whatever. You know, and I don't know if that was really the answer she wanted to hear, but I mean, if she called the city, I mean, they didn't shut us down as far as I know. I believe we're still open. I mean, we've been open for the past, you know, few days or so. This hair though. But yeah, so that's just one of my adventures at retail. You know, all the interesting people you meet. And actually that same day too, this one's kind of more of a lighthearted, funny kind of story. Well, it's not really a story, but little sort of thing. But I think like a few customers after that lady, there was this sort of like teenage couple that came in. And right by my register, there's some of these like cinnamon pop things. And I had the guy, the boyfriend or whatever, ask me if the cinnamon tops, in fact, were made out of cinnamon. And, you know, I was just like, yeah, that's, you know, I was like, well, he asked me, like, does it contain cinnamon? And I was like, yes, that is what they're made out of. And I was just like, all right, like, whatever. But that was just something, you know, I was like, oh. I was like, bless his heart. How come these kids want to come out every time I want to record something? Honestly. So if you hear screaming and shouting, no one's getting murdered, I promise. It's just kids playing at the pool. Oh goodness, this hair. This is some big ass hair. I'm not really sure if it looks like Trixie. I think I need to, well, because I only did like half the eye makeup. So like here, and then it sort of comes out like this, and then you have, well, I guess this kind of is this number. I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure. Like that, maybe? Is that it? I don't think that's it. I think this is also a drawing that would really help with, like, this is a drawing where, you know, color would really help, but we're not trying to color all this today. But those were just some of my, you know, fun little adventures from retail. Being back after quarantine. But, as far as what I've been working on, you know, sort of in my free time, I honestly can't remember if I talked about this before, but I am still slowly working on a fan art piece for Shameless, the TV show Shameless. It's actually on Netflix, which, if you guys haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's sort of a, I don't even know what to call it, but it sort of follows this dysfunctional family throughout their, you know, sort of weird lives in Chicago. I don't know. I feel like you have to kind of watch the trailer to, you know, really understand what's happening, because there's just a lot of stuff going on. Just be warned, there is like sex scenes and nudity in it, so, you know, if you don't want to see all that, then maybe it won't be the right show for you. But honestly, for me, I really like it. And so I have been working on this fan art thing for like quite a while, and the sketching part is pretty much almost complete. Like I'm almost to the point where I can sort of do the line art for it. I'm kind of having trouble with one character in particular at the moment, but like I said, I'm having trouble with that one character, and it's just going to require just a little bit more time and everything. But once I get it to the point where I can just do the line art, I'll record. I probably won't record the line art process. Maybe I will. I don't know. It just depends. It's kind of a big piece because I did plan on maybe making it into like a print if people really liked it. I just kind of wanted to get a print for myself, really. Kind of like what I did. I don't think I ever talked about this either, but when I did that fan art piece for Holly Brown, I did actually get that printed. Just like, I think I made like 5 prints just because it made sense just to get more than one rather than, you know, pay a stupid price just for one print. But anyway, once I finish that, eventually, you know, I'll show you guys and I'll get it printed. I actually want to get it printed at Cat's Print. You know, I've heard really, you know, good things about them, and I just kind of want to see what they're all about. I originally got my Holly Brown ones printed at Office Depot, so I'm sure the quality isn't as great, but I mean, for what it is, it worked, you know? I mean, I'm not gonna be too picky. But if I was going to be selling them or anything like that, which I didn't, but if I was going to be selling them, I would want to, you know, go to a company that actually kind of specializes in printing art prints and all that stuff. Let's see, does this look okay? Oh, bless her heart. God. So that's just one thing. I've been working on, kind of building up towards. Oh look, I think now it looks like her, kind of. Her head is huge. This is so bad. Oh no. And again, this is really just, you know, it's not meant to be like a finished piece or anything. I have thought about maybe making a sort of Trixie and Katya like fan art thing as well. Maybe from their web series or something, but I haven't really come up with any sort of ideas quite yet. I think I made her head too long, but I mean, for the most part, I think it's fine. There's like a whole family outside right now, you guys. What the hell? I can't. I swear, it's just like every time I want to record something, there's always like some kids outside. Like when I did the Animal Crossing video, the little playthrough thing, of course, I had to pick the day when there was like, you know, 3 kids outside and their mom, and there was construction going on. Just like, it didn't work. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, I just want to make sure that I kind of stick to this groove of making videos every other Wednesday, because I am really proud of the fact that I've stuck with it for this long, and I've been able to sort of give you guys content, whoever's watching, you know, something to watch at least. And maybe with these videos, these like sort of videos where I draw in real time, I feel like these will be maybe a little more entertaining since I'm talking and you guys get to see me draw in sort of real time. Alright, so we'll call this one done for right now, and we'll just go ahead and move on to Katya. So let me get my reference real quick. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over to Katya, and hopefully I can fit her within this space. You know, I knew Trixie had really big hair, but I didn't think it would take up that much of the page, so I'm just gonna kind of go for it, I guess. Let's see, I'll kind of draw a little smaller than what I normally would. going back to the topic of just things that I'm working on, I am doing a commission for a friend, and I'll be honest, it's kind of a little tough for me. I haven't really done commissions before, and I'm kind of running into the problems where basically what the commission is that he has this idea for a comic, and he wanted me to come up with like the character designs. But yeah, so it's just me trying to work out the character, but all I really have to go off of is just sort of a basic description. And so I think for me, it's easier to, I don't know, at least for my characters, and maybe this is just because, you know, they're my characters, but whenever I make a character, I really try to figure out, you know, who they are, what their name is, kind of a little bit of their backstory, this and that, you know? But for this one, it's just, this character doesn't have a name yet. I know just very basic things about him. It's kind of giving me some issues here and there. And then I'm also running into the problem where I need to draw, because I told him I would draw him out like a character sheet, so it would be like a front and a back view, and maybe some faces with different expressions and everything. And again, because he's supposed to be like a superhero, from the description that I got, he's not supposed to be, you know, overly muscular. Like, he's skinny, but he has muscle. And so I drew one version where I thought, oh, okay, this will work. But then he came back and was like, can you make him a little bit buffer? And I was like, oh, okay. And then, you know, I did it again, and then I'm like, and then he asked, you know, basically the same thing, can you make him just a little bit buffer? And I was like, okay. But it's getting to the point now where I'm just like, I need to draw like all of these muscles, and keep in mind that the sketches that I gave him, they weren't really sort of completed. It was just kind of, how does this work? Let's see. You know, I mean, they were quick sketches, right? Like they're supposed to be. Okay, right off the bat, I really hope this ends up looking like Katya and not like a man in a wig. Which I know is kind of redundant because that's basically what it is, but you know, I want to make her look pretty at least. I think I did that with Trixie, right? Bless her heart. But anyway, that's just something else I've been working on. And so it's just been a struggle, but you know, I have thought about the idea of dabbling in the world of commissions before, and this is kind of, you know, prepping me for, you know, things to come if I do decide to open up commissions in the future. But if you guys have any tips or anything on maybe like doing commissions or anything like that, just let me know in the description. That would be great. You know, any sort of advice would help. I have looked into it a few times. And finally, the last thing that I've been working on, which is kind of something I want to talk about as well. I actually completed my Redbubble swatch t-shirt palette test thingy. I don't even know what to call it anymore. And, you know, I was really excited. I wanted to you know, upload it and then get a sample print like I had talked about. And you guys, Redbubble kind of did me dirty, I'm not gonna lie. What ended up happening, and this is gonna kind of be another little story thing, so. But that night after I finished it, I uploaded it, and I was just kind of messing with my account on Redbubble. You know, I was trying to see all of the settings. I was just looking into all of like the account settings and, you know, just the things that come with having a Redbubble account. There was a lot of stuff that was kind of overwhelming, you know, a lot of like analytical stuff that I really wasn't, you know, a lot of stuff that I couldn't really use because I didn't have any sort of merchandise. I didn't change anything. I noticed I hadn't verified my email, which I thought was kind of strange because I thought that I did, but I guess I hadn't. And so I tried to verify my email. So I had a few tabs open. Some were from Redbubble, other ones were like YouTube, and, you know, I was listening to music and stuff like that. But But again, you know, I didn't change anything in my settings, but what ended up happening was after I tried to verify my email, when I went back to some of those tabs that were on Redbubble, I noticed that they logged me out. And of course, you know, I tried to log back in and it was telling me that the username or that the password was wrong. And so, you know, I was kind of confused because I thought I knew which one. I thought I knew, you know, I thought I knew the information, but I thought maybe this was like the one time when I was wrong, so I wanted to reset it. And so I tried, and it actually gave me this message, and I'll put it up on screen too, saying that my account was actually banned. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? You know, it was kind of a shock to me because I didn't do anything. Like, my store had nothing on it. That was like the first design I uploaded. And so I was kind of really unsure as to what was happening. Like, and I'll be honest, I don't want to say freaked out, but it kind of crossed my mind. I was like, uh-oh, what if someone, like, I don't know. I don't want to say like hacked or anything, but what if someone's like doing something they're not supposed to with like my computer or whatever, but I don't think that was it. Man, they got the whole family out there now. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so that happened. I emailed them. The last email I got, I think, was on, or I emailed them on May 21st, and I've had a few exchanges back and forth on, you know, what was happening, and they told me that they sent, you know, all the information to the right people, that they'll get back to me, you know, whenever they can, I guess, whenever it's been reviewed. I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I'm not really sure. But as of right now, it's May 27th, and I haven't heard anything back from them. And I already have the test palette ready to go. And I was really excited to, you know, kind of start making t-shirts and making, you know, merchandise and stuff. I was thinking that maybe if Redbubble doesn't get back to me soon, honestly, I'm probably just going to switch over to Printful. I think their prices might be just a little bit cheaper as far as like their t-shirts and stuff goes. I think like the cheapest t-shirt you can get is like $8, I think. Whereas with Redbubble, I think even just like a basic t-shirt is maybe somewhere between, you know, $17 to $20, I guess. I don't know. Again, I'm still trying to figure it all out. But, you know, it's really sad because I really was excited for the whole Redbubble thing, and then that happened. If by chance I do get my account back, I'll probably make an account again, or I'll probably, you know, upload stuff to Redbubble too. But, you know, I'm definitely going to have maybe the Printful thing on the side as well. That way I don't put all of my, you know, you don't put all of your eggs in one basket sort of thing. I did, you know, it did kind of bring up the question where if I was, you know, let's say I was sort of semi-successful, I was selling things on Redbubble, and for whatever reason they just decided to, you know, ban my account, what would happen to all of the money that I was supposed to make then? You know, do they keep it, or, you know, what happens then? And so that's something that really, you know, kind of worried me. But anyway, it sucked that happened. I really wanted to, like I said, I was really excited for everything, and well, it's just something, you know, it's just an obstacle I'm gonna have to get over. Just because I can't use Redbubble doesn't mean I can't do any other sort of print-on-demand service, so it is what it is. But I will try to update you guys if Redbubble does give me some sort of information as to what happened and, you know, why it was maybe flagged for being banned or something like that. I don't know. If they give me any information, I'll let you guys know. I did watch some videos on this topic of people getting their accounts banned for what seems to be like no reason, and from what I could find, it seemed like a lot of like foreign accounts get banned. Again, I'm in the United States, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm fine, but I mean, let's see. Sorry, I'm so focused on this now. Does this even look like Katya? Girl, I don't think it does, but... But yeah, like I said, it seemed like it happened more so with like foreign accounts, so I'm not necessarily sure why mine was shut down. Again, didn't have anything on there, just my profile picture, which is like the same as my YouTube one, and then I had like a little banner that sort of matched, you know, sort of my sort of like the theme that I have for my YouTube channel. And that was about it. And then all I did was upload that one design to it, the swatch palette thing. I uploaded that one, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I hadn't used that account in for a while. I made it like a month or so ago, and you know, I hadn't done anything with it. So maybe now that they saw activity on it or something like that. I don't know. It is what it is, and we just gotta, you know, I just gotta move on, so... I think it's kind of looking like her now. I think really I need to this might be one time when I have to like connect the eyes. I feel like Trixie came out okay. I mean, I don't think it's completely, I don't know, I don't think it's completely, you know, looking like them, but again, this is just practice. We're not gonna worry about it. There's no point in worrying. We're just gonna do what we can with what we have, and I made this. Let's do that. Is that what it is? I don't know. But anyway, you might have noticed as well that I kind of changed the challenge slightly. I said I was gonna be doing this mostly in digital, and I guess, well, technically, I guess I am right now, but I was really, you know, I really wanted to do it traditionally. I don't know, I just kind of felt like I really wanted to work in my sketchbook a little bit more, kind of get back into the groove of that. Originally I was going to do this all digitally, but there was just one day where I didn't feel like turning on my computer. It was kind of late at night and I still needed to practice for the day. And so I just opted to draw my sketchbook, and it just sort of kind of snowballed from there. So I've been drawing in my sketchbook more often, and I just kind of thought, you know, maybe I can just do little monthly like updates for you guys. That way you can kind of see what it is that I've done and how my progress is going. And since the month is almost over, I thought maybe it would be a good idea as well to switch what subject I worked on. So right now it was faces, and then maybe next month I work on like hands or feet, you know, and I just do that for the entire month. That way things don't get stale, and you know, I'm working on different sort of aspects of the challenge. Well, I think now it's looking like her. It kind of looks like, oh my god, what's her name? Okay, figured it out. It looks like Alaska is who I was thinking of a little bit. I think the face shape is what it is. Okay, so I did this with both of them, but I feel like I made their faces way too long. I feel like this should be right here. We're gonna do that. I feel like that's a little bit better. I think I'm also getting to the point in like when I'm practicing drawing where, you know, I'm just sort of kind of losing steam a little bit. So here pretty soon I might have to call this one done because I also gave her like a really big chin. And I'll have to go back and give Trixie some, some eyelashes as well. Oh Christ. Okay, hang on. This is not it. Crap. There we go, and then from here it's like all of this. Get that going. That there. There we go. I think something like this, and I'm gonna just kind of do this because she has lace on and I'm not trying to take the time to do all that, you know, intricate work of lace. Believe me, I'm not. Alright, let's give Trixie some eyelashes. Let's see, I feel like if I give her eyelashes, these need to be bigger than what you would think. There we go, and we'll give her some. I don't know if she really has bottom eyelashes, but we're just gonna give her some just for funsies. There we go. Oh, it looks like them, doesn't it? Oh, that's nice. I like that. This box is like not it. There it goes. Come on, perspective. Alright, you guys. There we go. So we're gonna call this one, whoops. Oh, and it's special because this one is actually head number, whoops. This one's number 50 and Katya is number 51. So there we go. Here, let me just double check on this reference real quick. Okay. Sorry, hang on. Give me two. I know I signed it already, or not signed it, but I know I kind of did that already, but just let me kind of do this real quick. Kind of get that going. There we go. Okay, I feel like that looks a little bit better. Alright, you guys, so I managed to get 2 heads in this little live drawing session. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and honestly, I hope you guys really like these types of videos. I think they're really fun for me to do, as long as, you know, I have something to talk about, and I'm not just quiet the entire time. But at least you get to see, you know, how I draw and how I'm progressing throughout this challenge and everything. little by little. But I think that's all I have for right now. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys! Thank you so much for watching. I post new art videos every other Wednesday, so consider subscribing to the channel by clicking my logo on the screen or the subscribe button down below. If you'd like to further support this channel and me, you can buy me a Ko-fi in the link below, and anyone who donates gets a shout out at the end of my videos. Thanks guys!